Good evening, my nerds, it's Fenner. It's time to continue the Overwatch goddamn hype train. If you don't know what Overwatch is yet, it's a team-based first-person shooter based around objectives, most commonly compared to Team Fortress 2. You'll be using unique heroes to battle in 6 versus 6 combat. Anyway, I've been doing a series to take a look at all of the heroes currently announced, taking a peek into their skills and gameplay to get myself and new nerds ready for when it goes live. The last episode was about Torbjorn, but next up we'll be taking a look at some dude with a little gun.
Justice ain't gonna dispense itself.
McCree. Jesse McCree is a 37-year-old bounty hunter from Santa Fe, USA, previously of Overwatch and fulfills an offensive role. McCree was originally a member of the notorious Deadlock gang, which trafficked weapons and military hardware throughout the American Southwest. When he was busted by Overwatch, he was given the option to either join Overwatch or rot in prison. He joined Overwatch. After Overwatch dissipated, he became a mercenary for hire, however, only fights for causes he believes in. Anyway, let's have a peek at the Magnum guy's skills. His main weapon is a revolver, which he calls the Peacekeeper. It can fire 6 bullets before reloading, dealing decent damage. Now, there are 2 ways he fires the weapon. On left click he just fires it normally, single shots, slowly, with perfect accuracy. On right click, McCree smashes down on the hammer of the weapon to unload it extremely quickly with bad accuracy. If you haven't figured it out already, the left click will be used for mid-ish range and the right click will be used for close range, when accuracy isn't as important. The amount of damage he will be able to do with the right click if all shots hit will be devastating. Next up, McCree is quite the agile guy, so when you hit shift, he performs a combat roll. This is a very fast maneuver, but honestly doesn't send him that far. It will be great for dodging projectiles or making it harder for enemies to hit him. It does have a fairly large cooldown though, at 8 seconds. While this could be spammed every time it's up, I think using it to dodge big damage projectiles will be the way to go. On E, he has the flashbang. It's not exactly like a flashbang from Counter-Strike or something like that. However, it explodes in a small radius and staggers all enemies that it hits. It's only for a short amount of time, but if multiple enemies are hit, this would definitely be very nasty. With that said, this will also be great in 1v1 situations too. If hit, then McCree can just instantly unload his revolver into the enemy without having to worry about missing, pretty much ensuring a kill to any lower HP hero. It can also be great for stopping high mobility heroes like Tracer in their tracks to shut them down. McCree's ultimate ability. When McCree has his ultimate and taps Q, he stands almost still, not being able to perform any action. While he is moving extremely slowly, he lines up the revolver on all enemies' heads. The more enemies there are, the longer it takes. Once it's lined up, then tapping Q again will unload the revolver, instantly slaying all enemies that are within line of sight and are targeted. Now, obviously this sounds incredibly powerful at first, but he has to move really slowly to pull it off, and the more enemies there are, the longer it takes. So getting big team wipes with Deadeye probably won't happen too often. Once the enemies realize he's lining up for a Deadeye, since he's not doing anything, they can just target him down. So it's more likely going to be used for smaller amounts of enemies, maybe 1 to 3. 2 enemies will probably be the sweet spot between not standing too long and getting value out of the ultimate. So how will McCree play out in the standard game? McCree's playstyle is going to be extremely fast paced. His weapon is very accurate. In fact, I think with left click the bullet always hits the center. Constantly finding heroes to unload shots on will be the key to McCree. His HP isn't that low either, so you can be a bit more ballsy with him than some of the other offensive heroes. He also has the ability to roll out quickly if things go wrong and get out of there. Generally, he will be played by poking out from behind walls, quickly, and then moving to closer positions if there are no enemies to hit. Close to mid will be his best range, but it's not like he will struggle too much at long range anyway, except against someone like Widowmaker. Good knowledge of the opponent's weapons and abilities will be extremely useful to playing a decent McCree, so you know when to utilize the combat roll at the right time. He does not do as much damage as someone like Reaper, but it makes sense because his range is more versatile. Another thing to note with McCree, since the revolver has no spread and is perfectly accurate, you will need good aim to play him well. His ultimate should be used mostly in scenarios where there are two-ish players, and he's not going to die when pulling it off, aka from behind, or when the enemies aren't looking. So what is his weakness? Well, McCree is a pretty good all-round aggressive hero. However, his weapon damage isn't the highest for an aggro hero due to perfect accuracy. This means that tanky heroes at close range might be a problem for him. Reinhardt comes to mind first, being able to tank full revolver unloads, then take McCree down with a charge. Winston will be pretty nasty too, again being able to tank through the revolver, then jump on top of McCree. These are the kind of things you will need to learn to dodge as McCree. Bastion will also be good against him, since Bastion can deal out a lot of damage from behind a shield, and McCree doesn't really have a way of getting behind the shield, except good positioning. That does it for this brief look at McCree. Honestly, I wasn't too excited for McCree originally, but after checking him out more, I'm definitely keen to play him. He fits the things I like in FPS the most: speed, accuracy, and skillful escapes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Peace, guys. Nerds.